Humble woman saves businessman in trouble and discovers an unimaginable secret. The commercial building where Isabella worked was already silent. It was late, and most of the employees had left the premises. The sound of her footsteps echoed through the corridors as she finished cleaning the last office of the day. Isabella, a humble woman in her 30s, had a serene expression and a determination that inspired respect in everyone who knew her. Her black hair was tied back in a practical ponytail, and her brown eyes expressed innate kindness. That night, as she was putting away the cleaning supplies and getting ready to leave, a strange noise coming from the garage caught her attention. Initially, she thought it might be a cat or some other animal, but something in her instinct alerted her to danger. Determined to investigate, Isabella quickly descended the stairs, her heart beating faster with each step. Upon reaching the garage, the scene she found put her on high alert. Benjamin, a successful businessman and owner of one of the companies occupying the building, was being robbed. Two masked men surrounded him, one holding a knife while the other rifled through his pockets. Without hesitation, Isabella shouted, "Hey, stop that!" Her voice echoed through the garage, surprising the robbers. Benjamin, who had been paralyzed with fear, and until then looked at Isabella with wide eyes, unable to believe someone was intervening, stared at her in disbelief. The robbers turned to face Isabella. The one holding the knife advanced, but Isabella, showing unexpected courage, grabbed a broom handle nearby and brandished it as a weapon. "Leave now, or I'll call the police," she threatened. The determination in her eyes and the confidence in her stance made the robbers hesitate. After a tense moment, they decided the situation wasn't worth the risk and fled, leaving Benjamin and Isabella alone in the garage. Benjamin, still trembling, approached Isabella. I don't know how to thank you." "You saved me," he said, his voice shaking with relief and gratitude. Isabella smiled, trying to ease the tension. "It's okay, Mr. Benjamin. The important thing is that you're safe. Let's go inside and call the police to report what happened." As they walked together to the building's lobby, Benjamin observed Isabella with new admiration. He had always seen her in the corridors, but never imagined she had such courage. Isabella, on the other hand, focused on ensuring Benjamin's safety, not letting the heroic event go to her head. The police were called, and reports were made. Benjamin couldn't stop thanking Isabella, promising to do something to reward her. Isabella, as humble as ever, downplayed her actions. "I just did what anyone would do in my place," she said, but Benjamin knew that wasn't true. Isabella's courage and quick action had saved his life that night. Determined to show his gratitude, he began to think of how he could help Isabella improve her life. After the police left and the situation calmed down, Benjamin insisted on driving Isabella home. On the way, they talked a bit more, and Benjamin learned more about the woman who had saved him. He discovered that she was a widow, mother to a 10-year-old boy, and worked hard to support her family. When they arrived at Isabella's home, Benjamin said, "Isabella, I want you to come to my office tomorrow. I have a proposal for you." Isabella nodded, not knowing what to expect, but feeling a small hope grow in her heart. The next morning, Isabella woke up early as usual. The small apartment where she lived with her son, Alexander, was simple but always clean and tidy. Every corner of the house reflected the dedication and love she put into everything she did. Alexander, with his 10 years, was a smart and energetic boy. He admired his mother and understood, even at his young age, how hard she worked to provide them with a decent life. "Good morning, Mom," Alexander said with a wide smile, jumping out of bed. "You said you'd take me to the park after school, remember?" Isabella smiled, feeling a wave of affection for her son. "Yes, my love. We're going to the park. But first, I have to go to Mr. Benjamin's office. Remember the man I helped last night? Alexander nodded, his eyes shining with curiosity. Yes. Is he going to give you a reward? Isabella laughed softly. He said he has a proposal for me. Let's see what it is. Now go get ready for school. While Alexander got dressed, Isabella prepared breakfast, her thoughts on the meeting with Benjamin. She was nervous but also curious. Benjamin seemed sincere in his gratitude, and Isabella couldn't deny the small hope growing in her heart. Perhaps finally an opportunity was arising. After dropping Alexander off at school, Isabella headed to the commercial building. Upon entering, she felt a mix of familiarity and expectation. She was greeted at the reception and led to Benjamin's office. When she entered, Benjamin was on the phone, but quickly ended the call upon seeing her. Isabella, please come in and sit down. I'm very glad you came, he said. Isabella sat, trying to hide her nervousness. Benjamin began to speak, his voice full of sincerity. Isabella, I'm still impressed by your courage last night. You not only saved me, but also made me realize something important. People like you deserve better opportunities. Isabella smiled timidly, not knowing exactly what to expect. Thank you, Mr. Benjamin. I just did what I thought was right. Benjamin nodded, appreciating Isabella's humility. And that's exactly why I want to help you. I'd like to offer you a better job at my company. I know you work hard, and I believe that with your qualities, you can contribute much more than just cleaning. Isabella was surprised and a bit uncertain. Mr. Benjamin, I really appreciate it, but I'm not sure I'm qualified for another type of job. I've always worked as a cleaner. Benjamin smiled, trying to reassure her. Isabella, I see potential in you. We'll provide the necessary training. You can start by helping to organize the office, handling documents, and assisting the team. And of course, the salary will be significantly better. Isabella hesitated for a moment, thinking about her simple life and the responsibilities she already carried, but the opportunity seemed too good to refuse. All right, Mr. Benjamin, I'll do my best. Benjamin smiled, satisfied. Great. We'll start tomorrow then. And please call me Benjamin. We're colleagues now. Isabella left the office feeling a mix of emotions. She knew her life was about to change, and it filled her with hope and a bit of fear. When she got home, she told Alexander about the new opportunity. Mommy got a better job, Alexander. Things are going to get better for us. Alexander, always optimistic, hugged his mother. I knew you could do it, Mom. You're the best. As Isabella prepared for her new job, Benjamin also reflected on the change he had decided to make. He was a successful businessman, but his personal life was marked by loneliness and regret. His relationship with his wife had ended years ago, and since then he had immersed himself in work, trying to escape the ghosts of the past. Benjamin had grown up in a wealthy family, always surrounded by material comfort. However, his childhood was marked by the emotional absence of his parents, who were always busy with their own lives. Determined to prove his worth, Benjamin threw himself into the business world, building a financial empire with determination and shrewdness. But as his wealth grew, he found himself increasingly isolated. Isabella's arrival in his life felt like a breath of fresh air. Her humility, courage, and kindness were qualities Benjamin admired and rarely found in his social circle. He felt an inexplicable connection with Isabella, something that made him want to be a better person. In the following days, Isabella began working in Benjamin's office. Initially, she was nervous, but over time, she adapted to the new responsibilities. The team welcomed her warmly, impressed by her dedication and work ethic. Benjamin, always attentive, made sure Isabella had the support she needed to develop. Gradually, Isabella and Benjamin started getting closer. They often had lunch together, and Benjamin found he enjoyed listening to Isabella talk about her life, her hopes and dreams. She, in turn, realized that Benjamin, despite his appearance of confidence and success, was a lonely person, tormented by secrets from the past. One day, during one of these conversations, Benjamin revealed a bit of his pain. "You know, Isabella, sometimes I think all my wealth means nothing. I have everything money can buy, but I feel empty inside." Isabella looked at him with compassion. "Benjamin, you have an opportunity to change that. Money might not buy happiness, but you can use it to do good, to create meaningful connections." Isabella's words deeply touched Benjamin. He knew she was right, and for the first time in a long time, he felt a spark of hope. Days turned into weeks, and Isabella's presence in the office began to make a tangible difference. Her work ethic and dedication were contagious, and even the colleagues started to notice a positive change in the environment. Isabella, for her part, felt more confident each day, embracing her new responsibilities with enthusiasm. Benjamin watched all this with a mix of admiration and gratitude. Isabella's courage had not only saved him from a dangerous situation, but also brought a new perspective to his life. He decided it was time to show his gratitude in a more concrete way. One morning, Benjamin called Isabella into his office. "Isabella, I'd like to talk to you about something important," he said, indicating a chair for her to sit. Isabella, curious, sat down and waited while Benjamin retrieved an envelope from his desk. "Isabella, I know you are a humble and hardworking person. I want to thank you for everything you've done, not only for me, but also for the office. Your presence here has made a big difference. I'd like to offer you a promotion and a significant salary increase," he said, handing the envelope to Isabella. Isabella opened the envelope and saw the new job offer, an administrative position with a much higher salary than she ever imagined. Surprised and emotional, she looked at Benjamin. "Benjamin, I don't know what to say. This is very generous. But please understand, I like the simplicity of my life. This job is already a big change for me." Benjamin smiled, understanding Isabella's hesitation. "I understand, Isabella, and it's precisely your humility that inspires me. I don't want to change who you are. I just want you to know that you are valued here. You can accept the promotion and the increase, or we can find another way to reward you. The important thing is that you feel comfortable with this." Isabella thought for a moment. The offer was tempting, but she really valued the simplicity of her life. "Benjamin, I'll accept the promotion, but maybe we can find a middle ground for the salary. I don't want this to change who I am." Benjamin nodded, respecting her decision. "Of course, Isabella, we'll adjust whatever is necessary. The important thing is that you are comfortable with the promotion." Isabella began working even closer to Benjamin, assisting him directly with various tasks. The proximity allowed them to get to know each other better. Isabella saw in Benjamin not only a successful businessman, but also a man struggling with internal demons. Benjamin, in turn, saw in Isabella a silent strength and wisdom he rarely encountered in his business world. One afternoon, after an exhausting meeting, Benjamin decided to open up a bit more of his life to Isabella. "You know, Isabella, sometimes I wonder if all this success is worth it. I've lost so many important things along the way. My wife, my relationship with my family, and now I'm being blackmailed by someone who used to be my friend." Isabella, surprised by the revelation, looked at him with concern. "Blackmailed? What do you mean, Benjamin?" Benjamin sighed, feeling the weight of the confession. "Years ago, I made wrong decisions. I got involved with people I thought were friends, but who only wanted to benefit from my success. One of them, my former partner, has information that could ruin my career and my personal life. He's threatening me and demanding money not to reveal everything. Isabella felt a tightening in her heart upon hearing this. Benjamin, that's terrible. You don't deserve to go through this. Is there a way to deal with this situation without giving in to the blackmail? Benjamin shook his head, frustrated. I don't know, Isabella. It feels like I'm trapped in an endless cycle of past mistakes coming back to haunt me. Isabella, determined to help, said firmly, Benjamin, you're not alone. We'll find a way to face this together. The truth always finds a way to come out, and I believe we can get through this stronger. Isabella's words brought some relief to Benjamin. He knew that with her help, there might be a chance to face his fears and defeat the ghosts of the past. He decided to trust Isabella and let her help find a solution. In the following days, Isabella began to get more actively involved in Benjamin's situation. Using her intelligence and limited resources, she started discreetly investigating Benjamin's former partner, trying to find a way to neutralize the blackmail. Over time, the friendship between Isabella and Benjamin grew even stronger, and they both began to realize that together they could face any adversity. As days passed, Isabella and Benjamin found comfort and support in each other. Isabella's promotion to an administrative position brought them even closer, allowing them to spend more time together in the office and learn more about each other's stories and personalities. Isabella, with her determination and kindness, began to realize that despite all his wealth and success, Benjamin was a lonely and deeply unhappy person. He had built an empire, but at some point he lost himself amid the pressures and expectations. The loneliness surrounding him was evident in small gestures. The solitary lunches, the vacant looks out the office window, and the visible weight of his responsibilities. One afternoon, after a long day of work, Isabella and Benjamin decided to take a coffee break. They sat in the small office break room, where Isabella, always observant, commented, Benjamin, I noticed that you carry a great weight on your shoulders. It seems that even with all the success, something is missing in your life. Benjamin sighed, stirring his coffee. You're right, Isabella. Sometimes I feel like I've lost what really matters. My wife is gone, my family is distant, and all that's left is work and more work. Isabella smiled gently. Life is more than just work, Benjamin. You need to find a balance, something that brings you joy outside the office. Maybe reconnecting with your family or finding a new passion could help. Isabella's words resonated deeply with Benjamin. He knew she was right, but he didn't know where to start. It's not easy, Isabella. I feel like I'm stuck in an endless cycle. Isabella, always practical and positive, replied, Let's start with small steps. Maybe a family dinner or a hobby you've always wanted to explore. And if you need help, I'm here to support you. From that day on, Benjamin began to try to change his routine. He took Isabella's advice and organized a family dinner. It was a difficult and tense meeting, but it was an important first step to reconnecting with those he loved. Isabella also encouraged him to explore hobbies he had set aside, like playing the piano, something he loved to do when he was young. Meanwhile, the friendship between Isabella and Benjamin continued to grow. They often had lunch together, and Isabella became a confidant for Benjamin, listening to his outbursts and offering sincere advice. Benjamin, in turn, began to take more interest in Isabella's life and her son, Alexander. One morning, Benjamin decided to surprise Alexander. He knew the boy loved soccer, so he bought tickets for an important game and invited Isabella and Alexander to go together. Isabella, I know Alexander loves soccer. I bought these tickets and thought it would be a good way for us to spend time together, he said. Isabella was moved by the gesture. Benjamin, that's very kind. Alexander will love it. Thank you for thinking of him. On the day of the game, Benjamin, Isabella, and Alexander had a great time. Alexander was radiant, and Isabella felt deep gratitude for Benjamin. This means a lot to us, Benjamin. Thank you for including us in your life. Benjamin smiled, feeling a new connection forming. It's a pleasure, Isabella. You are like family to me now. As the friendship between Isabella and Benjamin strengthened, Isabella also noticed that Benjamin was starting to change. He became more open, more willing to face his personal problems, and seek a more balanced life. Isabella's presence in his life was like an anchor, something that kept him steady and gave him hope. One afternoon, while organizing documents in Benjamin's office, Isabella found something that caught her attention. It was an old folder full of correspondences and financial documents. As she flipped through it, she realized it contained evidence of the blackmail Benjamin had mentioned earlier. His former partner, Anthony, was demanding large sums of money not to reveal a scandal that could ruin Benjamin. Isabella, with a heavy heart, decided she needed to talk to Benjamin about what she had found. That same night, after everyone had left, she knocked on his office door. "Benjamin, I need to talk to you." "I found something I think you need to see," she said. Benjamin looked at her with curiosity and concern. "Of course, Isabella. Come in, please." Isabella entered and showed him the folder. "I found this while organizing the documents. I think it's related to the blackmail you mentioned." Benjamin took the folder and began to flip through it, the expression on his face becoming somber. "Yes, that's exactly it. Anthony is trying to destroy me." Isabella sat beside him, feeling his pain. "Benjamin, we need to find a way to resolve this. You can't keep living under this shadow." Benjamin, with teary eyes, replied, "I don't know what to do, Isabella. It feels like everything is falling apart." Isabella held his hand, conveying strength. "You're not alone, Benjamin. We'll face this together. We'll find a way to end this blackmail and clear your name." Benjamin looked at Isabella, feeling a wave of gratitude and hope. For the first time in a long time, he felt there was light at the end of the tunnel. "Thank you, Isabella. I don't know what I would do without you." Isabella smiled, determined. "We'll get through this, Benjamin, one step at a time." The discovery of the blackmail documents brought a new layer of tension to Isabella and Benjamin's lives. Determined to help, Isabella knew they needed to act with caution and intelligence. Benjamin, for his part, felt cornered, but Isabella's presence gave him the strength to face the situation. That night, after revealing the documents, Benjamin decided to open up completely to Isabella. Sitting in his office, he began to tell the whole story. "Isabella, I've made many mistakes in the past. When I started the company with Anthony, we were willing to do anything to succeed. This included some questionable practices that are now coming back to haunt me." Isabella listened attentively, her eyes reflecting compassion and determination. "Benjamin, we all make mistakes. The important thing now is how you will deal with this, and I'm here to help." Benjamin sighed, feeling the weight of his words. "Anthony took advantage of our friendship and my trust. He has documents that prove our illegal actions and is demanding an exorbitant amount of money not to reveal everything." Isabella, with a heavy heart, knew they needed a plan. "Benjamin, we need to gather evidence against Anthony. If he is blackmailing you, there must be something we can use against him. Let's investigate more deeply and find a way to neutralize him." Benjamin nodded, seeing a spark of hope in Isabella's determination. "You're right. Let's face this together." In the following days, Isabella and Benjamin began working on a plan to expose Anthony. Using the company's resources and the help of some trusted employees, they started gathering information about Anthony's activities. Isabella, with her intelligence and observation skills, quickly identified patterns and potential weak points. One afternoon, while reviewing some old documents, Isabella found something that could be the key to exposing Anthony. It was a series of suspicious financial transactions, indicating that Anthony was involved in illegal activities beyond the blackmail. Isabella brought the discovery to Benjamin, who was impressed by her dedication. Isabella, this might be what we need. If we can prove that Anthony is involved in other criminal activities, we can expose him and end this blackmail. Isabella smiled, feeling a new wave of determination. Let's do this, Benjamin. Let's gather all the evidence and take it to the police. We can't let Anthony continue with his actions. As they worked together, the friendship between Isabella and Benjamin deepened even further. Benjamin felt increasingly grateful for Isabella's presence in his life, and she, in turn, saw in Benjamin a genuinely remorseful man willing to change. Their partnership was not only professional, there was an emotional connection that strengthened them both. One night, while reviewing documents at home, Isabella and Benjamin had a sincere conversation about their lives. Benjamin opened up about his failed marriage and the guilt he felt for not being able to save the relationship. I was always so focused on work that I neglected my wife. When she left, I realized I had lost what really mattered. Isabella, touched by Benjamin's vulnerability, shared her own story. I also lost my husband. He was a good man, but life is sometimes cruel. Since then, I've dedicated myself to Alexander and work. I understand your pain, Benjamin. Loss can change us profoundly. Benjamin looked at Isabella with gratitude. Isabella, you brought light to my life in a moment of darkness. Thank you for being here. Isabella held his hand, feeling the connection between them. I'll always be here to help, Benjamin. We'll face this together. With the plan in motion, Isabella and Benjamin continued gathering evidence against Anthony. Using contacts and resources, they obtained crucial information showing the extent of Anthony's criminal activities. They knew they were getting close, but they needed to act carefully to ensure everything was done correctly. In a tense meeting, Isabella and Benjamin decided it was time to confront Anthony. With all the evidence in hand, they arranged a meeting with him in a neutral location. Anthony, confident in his position of power, accepted the meeting without suspecting what was to come. On the day of the confrontation, Isabella and Benjamin arrived at the location with all the documents and evidence. Anthony, upon seeing them, smiled arrogantly. I see you finally decided to give in to my demands. Benjamin firmly replied, Actually, Anthony, we're here to expose you. We have evidence of your criminal activities and the blackmail. This ends here. Anthony laughed, disbelieving. Do you really think you can take me down? You have no idea who you're dealing with. Isabella, with surprising calm, showed the documents. These are the proofs we've gathered, and the police are already on their way. You'll be held accountable for your actions. Anthony's expression quickly changed from arrogance to panic. You can't do this. I. Before he could continue, the police arrived, arresting Anthony and ensuring that justice was served. Benjamin, feeling immense relief, turned to Isabella. We did it, Isabella. We're finally free from this shadow. Isabella smiled, feeling deep satisfaction. It was a joint effort, Benjamin. You deserve a new chance to live in peace. With Anthony imprisoned and the blackmail finally over, Benjamin began to rebuild his life with Isabella's help. He reestablished relationships with his family and found new ways to connect with those around him. Isabella's presence was a constant source of strength and inspiration. The relief of seeing Anthony imprisoned was profound, but the battle was far from over. Benjamin knew that although the blackmail had ended, he still needed to face the consequences of the wrong decisions he had made in the past. And for that, he would need all the help Isabella could offer. In the following days, the news of Anthony's arrest spread quickly. Benjamin knew that to truly clear his name, he needed to be completely honest about what had happened. With Isabella's help, he decided to hold a press conference to tell his side of the story. On the day of the press conference, Benjamin was nervous but determined. Isabella, by his side, exuded a calm and confidence that strengthened him. As he stepped onto the stage, he looked at the crowd of journalists and, with a deep breath, began to speak. Today, I'm here to talk about the mistakes of the past and the actions I'm taking to correct them. Years ago, I made decisions I deeply regret. These decisions led to the blackmail and the arrest of my former partner, Anthony, he said. The journalists were attentive, and camera flashes illuminated the room. Benjamin continued, I take full responsibility for my actions and am willing to fully cooperate with the authorities to ensure justice is served. I want everyone to know that I am committed to rebuilding my life in an honest and transparent way. Isabella watched with pride as Benjamin faced the crowd with courage and sincerity. She knew this was a crucial step for him, not just professionally, but also in his personal journey of redemption. After the press conference, Benjamin and Isabella returned to the office, where they were greeted by a team of employees who, although surprised, were ready to support Benjamin. You did the right thing, Benjamin, said one of the employees. We're here to help with whatever is needed. With the support of his team and Isabella, Benjamin began to take concrete steps to correct the mistakes of the past. He cooperated with the investigations, providing all the necessary information to clarify the facts. Additionally, he decided to allocate a significant portion of his resources to social responsibility projects, seeking ways to contribute positively to the community. Meanwhile, the friendship between Isabella and Benjamin continued to strengthen. They spent hours talking about their lives, hopes, and dreams. Isabella helped Benjamin find ways to reconnect with his family, and he, in turn, offered support and resources so Isabella could provide a better life for Alexander. One afternoon, after an intense day of work, Benjamin invited Isabella and Alexander for dinner at his home. I want to thank you for everything you've done for me. Without you, I wouldn't have been able to face all this, he said. Isabella smiled, accepting the invitation. We're happy to help, Benjamin. You deserve this second chance. At dinner, the atmosphere was light and full of laughter. Alexander was excited, telling stories from school, while Isabella and Benjamin talked about the next steps. Benjamin felt lighter, as if a huge weight had been lifted from his shoulders. You brought new light to my life, he said, looking at Isabella with gratitude. Isabella, always modest, replied, Benjamin, you did the hard work. We were just by your side. Over time, Benjamin began to realize that his friendship with Isabella was transforming into something deeper. He admired not only her courage and kindness, but also the strength and resilience she demonstrated every day. Isabella, for her part, felt a special connection with Benjamin, something that went beyond simple friendship. One sunny afternoon, while walking in the park with Alexander, Benjamin decided to open his heart. Isabella, in recent months, you have become an essential part of my life. I've thought a lot about it and realized that my feelings for you go beyond friendship. Isabella, surprised, looked at Benjamin, feeling her heart race. Benjamin, hi. I also feel something special for you, but our situation is complicated. Benjamin smiled, holding her hand. I know it won't be easy, Isabella, but I believe that together we can face anything. I want to be by your side, no matter what happens. Isabella, with tears in her eyes, nodded. I also want to be by your side, Benjamin. Let's face this together. With this new revelation, the relationship between Isabella and Benjamin deepened even more. They knew there would be challenges, but they were willing to face them together. Benjamin continued his work to correct the mistakes of the past, and Isabella remained by his side, offering unconditional support. Meanwhile, Alexander also adapted well to the new dynamics. He loved spending time with Benjamin, seeing him not only as a mentor, but also as a father figure. Benjamin, for his part, felt immense joy in being part of Alexander's life, helping to shape his future. The following months were filled with hard work and reconstruction. Benjamin, with Isabella's help, managed to resolve all the legal issues and began to focus on new projects that reflected his renewed values. The company prospered, and Benjamin finally felt at peace with himself. One night, during a quiet dinner at home, Benjamin looked at Isabella and Alexander and felt a wave of gratitude. I'm happy we made it this far, he said, holding Isabella's hand. You changed my life in ways I never imagined. Isabella smiled, feeling the same. We changed each other's lives, Benjamin, and that's the true essence of a family. With the deeper relationship between Isabella and Benjamin, the next step was to finalize the fight against Anthony's blackmail and ensure there were no loose ends. Although Anthony was imprisoned, there were still documents and evidence that could surface and complicate Benjamin's situation. One morning, Benjamin and Isabella met early in the office to discuss the action plan. We need to ensure that all evidence is secure and that Anthony has no more ways to threaten us, Benjamin said, his tone determined. But we also need to expose what he did to ensure complete justice. Isabella agreed, placing a folder of documents on the table. Benjamin, we have to be meticulous. Let's review all the documents we have and check if there is anything else that can help us. And we need to be quick before any information leaks. They spent the morning reviewing documents, analyzing every detail, and noting everything that could be useful. Isabella, with her observation skills, found several points Benjamin had overlooked. Look at this, Benjamin. These financial transactions are suspicious. We can use them to strengthen our case against Anthony. Benjamin looked at the documents, impressed. You're amazing, Isabella. With your help, we have a real chance of ending this once and for all. They decided they needed a specialist to ensure all documents were complete and correct. Benjamin contacted a trusted lawyer, Dr. Carter, who agreed to meet with them to review the evidence. During the meeting with Dr. Carter, the lawyer carefully examined the documents. You have a solid case here, he said finally. With this evidence, we can ensure Anthony is tried for all his crimes, but we also need to prepare a defense for Benjamin in case any information is leaked. Isabella and Benjamin worked together with Dr. Carter to ensure all details were covered. Every document was analyzed, every suspicious transaction explained, and every testimony prepared. The process was exhaustive, but Isabella and Benjamin remained firm, knowing they were doing the right thing. Meanwhile, Isabella continued to take care of Alexander and her daily responsibilities. She found strength in the new family dynamic, feeling more supported and confident. Benjamin, for his part, made sure to be present for Isabella and Alexander, helping with everything he could. One quiet night, while Isabella and Benjamin reviewed the documents one last time, Benjamin looked at Isabella with a smile. I don't know what I would do without you, Isabella. Your strength and determination inspire me every day. Isabella, holding Benjamin's hand, responded affectionately. We're in this together, Benjamin, and we'll overcome everything, one step at a time. Finally, the day came to take the evidence to court. Isabella and Benjamin, accompanied by Dr. Carter, were ready to face Anthony and ensure justice was served. The courtroom was full, and the tension in the air was palpable. Anthony, arrogant as ever, was present, but his confidence waned when he saw the amount of evidence Benjamin and Isabella presented. Dr. Carter, with his experience and skill, conducted the case brilliantly, presenting each piece of evidence clearly and precisely. Isabella, sitting next to Benjamin, watched attentively, every detail, feeling a mix of nervousness and hope. Benjamin, for his part, remained firm, trusting in justice and the strength of what they had built together. After hours of deliberation, the judge finally gave his verdict. Anthony was found guilty on all charges, and the sentence was severe. He would be imprisoned for many years, with no possibility of parole. Additionally, all evidence of blackmail and criminal activities was officially recognized, clearing Benjamin's name. When the verdict was announced, Isabella and Benjamin hugged, feeling a wave of relief and happiness. "We did it, Isabella. We're finally free from this shadow," Benjamin said, emotional. Isabella, with tears of joy in her eyes, responded, "It was a joint effort, Benjamin. You deserve this new chance. Now we can move forward and build a better life." With Anthony imprisoned and justice served, Benjamin began to rebuild his life with a new purpose. He dedicated more time to his family, reconnecting with his relatives and strengthening bonds with Isabella and Alexander. Isabella, for her part, continued to be a pillar of strength and support, helping Benjamin find joy in the little things in life. To celebrate this new phase, Benjamin organized a small party at his home, inviting close friends and family. The house was filled with laughter and lively conversations, and the atmosphere was one of gratitude and hope. During the party, Benjamin made a special toast to everyone. "Here, I want to thank you for your support and love, and especially to you, Isabella, for being the light that guided my way. We are starting a new journey, and I know that together we can face any challenge." Isabella smiled, moved. "Unity and love brought us here. Let's continue to grow and support each other always." With justice served and life being rebuilt, Isabella and Benjamin were ready to face the future with courage and determination. The journey had not been easy, but what they found in the end was new hope and a love that deeply united them. The days following Anthony's conviction were filled with a sense of relief and renewal. Isabella and Benjamin finally felt that the shadow of the past had dissipated. However, the path to complete peace still reserved one last confrontation. One afternoon, while reviewing the final details of the company's projects, Benjamin received a disturbing call from an old contact. "Benjamin, I thought you should know. Someone is trying to continue Anthony's dirty work. It seems he has an accomplice still at large." Benjamin felt a chill run down his spine. "Isabella, it seems our fight is not over yet. There's someone out there trying to continue Anthony's blackmail." Isabella, without hesitation, replied, "We need to act quickly, Benjamin. Let's find out who is behind this and end this threat once and for all." Benjamin and Isabella began to investigate more deeply, using all available resources to identify Anthony's accomplice. They worked night and day, reviewing documents, tracing suspicious financial transactions, and interviewing former employees. One night, while immersed in documents, Isabella found something that caught her attention. "Benjamin, look at this. There's a series of transactions leading to a ghost company. I think we found our next target." Benjamin looked at the documents, feeling a mix of anger and determination. "This company is run by someone named Andrew. We need to find him and end this." Using his contacts, Benjamin managed to arrange a meeting with Andrew, pretending interest in a business deal to lure him in. Isabella, always by Benjamin's side, was ready for anything. They knew this final confrontation would be crucial. On the day of the meeting, Benjamin and Isabella met with Andrew in a neutral location. Andrew, an elegant and confident-looking man, seemed unconcerned. Benjamin, I've heard a lot about you. Let's discuss business. Benjamin, maintaining calm, replied, Actually, Andrew, we're here to discuss your illegal activities. We know you're trying to continue Anthony's dirty work. Andrew laughed, a cold and calculating laugh. Do you really think you can stop me, Benjamin? Anthony was just a piece on the board. There's much more at stake here. Isabella, with a firm voice, intervened. Andrew, we have enough evidence to incriminate you. The police are already on their way. You're finished. Andrew, realizing the seriousness of the situation, tried to get up and leave, but was stopped by Benjamin. You're not going anywhere, Andrew. It's time to face justice. Within minutes, the police arrived and arrested Andrew, ensuring he couldn't continue his criminal activities. Benjamin and Isabella watched as he was taken away, feeling deep relief. They knew they could finally move forward without the shadow of the past. Back at the office, Benjamin and Isabella gathered the team for an announcement. Today, we managed to end the last threat that haunted us. Andrew is in prison, and we can finally focus on the future, Benjamin said. The team applauded, and Benjamin looked at Isabella with gratitude. This was only possible. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe for more awesome stories like this. Stay blessed and healthy. Thank you for watching and see you in the next story.